Welcome to the fifth in a series of short videos that I am sharing online with some tips about church leadership and management. These tips come from our Management for Church Leaders Training Manual, which we have been teaching globally for over 20 years. In this video, I will be sharing tip number 5, which is the need for pastors and leaders to be servant leaders and develop those people that they lead. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 24 says, "Nobody should seek his own good, but the good of others." This is the principle of all of Christianity, that we should look to others and not our own needs. And as leaders, we must do the same thing. So leaders are called to make disciples first and foremost. Matthew 28:19 says, "Go and make disciples of all nations." This is the Great Commission. This is what the purpose and the priority of the church is. So making disciples is really the purpose behind every single ministry. There's no ministry that doesn't have discipleship at its core. We don't just practice music for worship on Sunday. We disciple the members of the praise team. And every organization needs to think of this in the same way. We're not just doing a job, we're doing things for the Lord. So leaders must make discipleship the core and the basis of their ministry. Secondly, if we have strong ministries but few disciples, then we have failed. The whole purpose of the church, the whole purpose of Bible studies and activities that we do is to make more disciples. And so if we have failed to do that, then that's not what we're about. Our position is that as leaders is to make disciples through the activities that we lead, whether it's a church, a ministry, Bible study group, or whatever. Secondly, leaders are called to train and equip people for ministry. It's not just about leading them, but it's about training them, because they're going to be the future leaders in the church. They're going to be the ones that need to be called to go out and minister to others and to share the gospel, to be witnesses for Christ. And oftentimes people need training for this. We also, as leaders, need to encourage people to participate in ministry activities, and sometimes they just need to be trained. They need to be taught what to do, and so we need to do that. And I also think that we often refer to churches as churches or worship centers, but I believe they should be considered training centers. The Bible calls us to train and equip others for ministry. And so the church is a place where people receive that training. It's not just coming to worship God and to fellowship with one another. It's to be raised up to be witnesses and to do the ministry work. Peter calls this the priesthood of all believers. And so every Christian is a minister, and are also a missionary. So these are some things that leaders need to do to consider the church as a training center. And finally, leaders are also called to develop other leaders. They do this to help grow the ministry, to spread out the workload, but they also do it to perpetuate the ministry so that there will be leaders in the future. You know, pastors don't always stay around. People retire from ministry. We always need another generation to come up as leaders to help the ministry go forward and accomplish the vision that God has called them to. And finally, we develop other leaders to grow God's kingdom. It's the principle of multiplication ministry. The more leaders we have, the more people we can impact, and the faster the kingdom grows. So these are some ways that leaders are called to develop people, not just lead them, but to develop them, train them, and raise up more leaders. Thank you for watching this video. I hope that it was valuable for you. Next time, I will be sharing how great leaders accomplish goals and don't make excuses. To request a free copy of our Management for Church Leaders self-training book or any of our other training resources, please visit our website at www.faithlifeministries.net.